movieweb.com.
Once upon a time,
Does it always have to be once upon a time?
there was a fisherman. He was pulling in his nets.
Is she a mermaid?
No.
Is she a selkie then?
What's a selkie?
She comes out of the sea, lives on land.
My name's Syracuse. I've been sober about 2 years. This is where they all clap.
Where did you see that in the movies?
Take her in here, sir.
Is that illegal?
No, but it's unusual.
I stole some lady's clothes.
I don't like this at all.
They were for this girl I met.
Thank you.
So, what's the story?
She sings to the fishes and he catches them. You bring me luck.
That would be Selk.
How long are you staying?
Depends on you.
It depends on me. You can stay forever.
Neil, I guess my first question is for you. Where did the impetus of this idea come from, particularly the Selkie mythology? Where did you get this?
Just came from an image I had of a fisherman pulling a girl out of the water in his net, basically, and it was such an arresting image. You know, I didn't know what didn't know what to do with it, and I said, okay, I'll begin to write these scenes. Then I began to research Selkies and legends of water sprites, and every different culture has one. You know, the German version of it is called Undine, and the Irish version, a Scottish version, they're called Selkies, and I suppose the Hans Christian Andersen one is the Little Mermaids and stuff like that. But there's a specific Irish set of legends around that. So I just began to develop a story, and these, through the voice of the daughter, through the imagination of the young child, these kind of ideas crept into it, and I thought this could be a really interesting fairy tale that's just perched on the edge of reality, and we don't know whether it's real or not, That's where it all came from.
Colin, for you, I mean, you're fishing in this film, you're doing a lot of swimming, you're getting wet. Talk about just filming day to day. Did you get a lot of time on that boat? Are you an expert fisherman now?
No, I'm fairly shabby at it all, actually, man. But did spend 2 weeks out in the water with Val, who owns the boat that we use in the film, and that's a boat that he's used practically. He's a fisherman 20 years out of the Bear Peninsula, so yeah, just went out in the water for 2 weeks before we started filming, and just trawled around, caught nothing, but spent loads of good time with Val, just listening to his stories about what he'd been through, and it was a good time, man.
The base of this film is this intimate character study, between the father, the alcoholic, the daughter who's sick, and then this new magical creature that comes in their life and kind of throws everything into a different gear. Talk about working with these actors, and talk about working with Neil in such an intimate story.
Me? Well, I've always wanted to work with Colin for a long, long, long time, and I was one of the producers on a film he did called Intermission. He played a tiny little part in that, and
good film.
I think so, lovely film, yeah. And it's, I've always thought that, I've always found actually that people who, when Hollywood actors become huge stars, you often don't, their talent is often unrecognized in some way, because the kind of movies they love to put young men into huge kind of event things, and you often don't see the range of talent they have, and I thought when Colin said he would do this role, I thought, great, I'd love to work with you in a totally stripped down, intimate setting, which is about nothing but acting and the imagination and character.
What he said. No, I mean, I loved it. As Neil was saying, we've known each other now for about, maybe 6 or 7 years or something like that, but we've talked about doing a few things through the years, and one of them was Neil was going to make a feature film about the Borgia family in Italy, which he's doing now for television, but I was going to do a part in that, and it kind of couldn't get the money together, whatever happened. And he just handed me this, and I loved it. It just really moved me. I was just really kind of carried on the wing of the tale. I read it in one sitting really quickly and jumped at the opportunity. And loved playing Syracuse. He was the one character in 12 years that I remembered really not being able to, or not wanting to walk away from at the end of a film. Usually I find the last 2 weeks of a film you kind of reach a point where you feel like you should just check out of your own life completely and live as this person, or else get back to your own life. And with this one, I was just quite happy walking in this man's shoes. I loved his incredible lack of self-pity that I deemed he had pretty early on in the read,
Brilliant. Talk about filming in Ireland. I had a chance to spend a long time there a couple of years ago, and just had a tremendous time. Just a beautiful place. And where the boat was by the water kind of reminded me of where I was visiting.
Oh, where did you go?
I was in Belfast.
Belfast, yeah. Wow.
Okay.
We were,
interesting times. But can you talk about filming there specifically? Is there a freer feeling, or is it more difficult to be out there?
It's actually very expensive shooting in Ireland, actually, or it became very expensive. Well, through that Celtic Tiger period, you know what I mean? I mean, the country became very rich for a while, and now it's very poor again, you know? And I suppose just when we came to make this movie, it was when it was becoming very poor again. And, you know, there's realities in that place that they haven't entirely destroyed the landscape, let me put it that way, you know? And there's this specific area, which is the Beara Peninsula, where we shot this, is one of the most unspoiled areas of Ireland. I knew it very well because I have a house down there, and as I wrote the script, I said, okay, I'm going to use this little bay, this little thing, this little fishing town, and everything was within a 5-mile radius of my house, really, so I could sleep in my own bed at night. You know, cycle to work, basically, you know, or walk sometimes.